Hey, this is Shiva. In today's video, I'm going to talk about fear and anxiety. I have a lot of experience with fear and anxiety, and I've learned a bunch of beautiful tools to help me to have a better understanding of what fear is and how it can really trigger an anxiety attack. Uh, so I was a very fearful person. A lot of my fearful thoughts would get out of control, and then I would have an anxiety attack. Once I realized what exactly was going on, things got a lot better really fast. So, what was happening was I was thinking about a fear, something that I was scared of. Every day I would have some sort of fear. Sometimes it was the same fear, sometimes it was a different random fear, but I would start thinking about it, and then when I was thinking about it, I was holding my breath. So I would stop breathing so that I could just focus on the thought. Um, and then when I would hold my breath long enough, I would then be depriving my body of oxygen. So then I would panic and freak out and feel like I was dying because the cells in my body were not getting any oxygen. So they were also feeling like they were dying. We have over, I think it's like a trillion cells just within our one body alone. And if we're depriving all of our organs and everything of oxygen, then it makes sense why an anxiety attack is so awful and it feels like we're dying. Because we kind of are. We're suffocating ourselves. And it is really easy actually to breathe, especially when we learned cool breathing techniques and how different breathing techniques can help with different emotions and different feelings that we're feeling. Then we realize that the breath really is everything, and it's the best medicine. It's better than any medication I ever took in the past. So breathing is the number one thing that helps with fear and anxiety. So there's a ton of breathing exercises on YouTube and different books on it. Different pranayama is another name for breath work. This book, How to Breathe by Ashley Neese, I take it on vacations with me. I have it in close to my bed. I love reading through this. She has all different kinds of exercises, breathing exercises that can help release different emotions. Things like working on anger has really helped me. This breathing exercise on anger, forgiveness, breathing exercises on focusing, breathing exercises on grief, all sorts of beautiful things in here. She also really recommends journaling, which has been really helpful. It's really nice to just write about anything, write about how you're feeling, write about your fears, kind of writing things down, and just kind of confronting those things can be really helpful. So number 2, besides breathing, would be to meditate and just kind of silence the mind. That comes hand in hand with breath work, because while you're meditating, you also don't want to be holding your breath and just trying so hard to not think. It'll drive you crazy. It's driven me crazy. So just kind of focusing, instead of focusing on not thinking, just kind of focusing on breathing, a certain rhythm of breathing, and nice and deep, slow exhales. And then also focusing on the way that your body is sitting, the way your spine is aligned, and where your brain is, and all of that, and just kind of focusing your gaze maybe on something, but silencing the mind as much as possible, and noticing when you are meditating, just doing your best to kind of listen. You can kind of hear messages and certain repetitive thoughts that might be actually stressing you out unconsciously throughout the day, and maybe you can kind of work through those and release certain things that are just like taking from your life force energy, things that are just taking from you instead of, bringing you happiness and comfort, and they're just making you feel stressed and anxious. So breathing, meditation, also getting grounded as much as possible. So when you're living in the mind and you're just kind of out in space, you kind of forget about your body and being present in your physical body. So getting grounded is a really nice way to come back to and not be so much in the thinking mind. So connecting with nature is a nice way to get grounded, just moving the body. And just really thinking about the feet and how they're connected to the earth, and thinking about all those kinds of things. It can be really comforting. Going to a creek or a river by your house, or a lake or an ocean, or to a forest, or to just a park, or in your backyard, maybe making a little place where you can sit in silence and just kind of get grounded and breathe, every day. It's nice to have that. I live in an apartment, so we do have a park downstairs that I'll go to, or I have a lot of plants here in my house, so it's really easy to get grounded even up here in our apartment on the top story. So there's multiple ways to get grounded. Another thing is to practice gratefulness. Gratefulness definitely diminishes the fear, and just kind of thinking about love and connecting. And if it's hard to think about your heart center, just kind of focusing your third eye gaze, like kind of thinking of like a light coming from like the head and the crown, that's like, that's like a powerful light, and thinking about that light connected to the heart center, and just kind of focusing on that. And really love can really help fear. It's not like you're trying to just get rid of fear once and for all. It's just kind of having a better energy towards fear, and a better understanding of it, and just getting it, instead of letting it take over, and things like that. So practicing gratitude. I have these little things around the house. I just try to remind myself all throughout the day to think about things that I am grateful for. It could be something simple like thinking about just how cool it is to have eyes, or how cool it is to have a nose to breathe, to how cool it is to have ears and to listen to music and sound. How, thinking about all the love that you receive from others, and all the love you've given over in your life. Those kind of things can really help. Thinking about love and thinking about gratitude can really help to diminish fear. So just being deeply, deeply grateful. Breathing, gratitude, getting grounded in nature, thinking about what we do want. So when we notice the fear, my teacher Yuki Yoshi, who's very special to me, I was in a really fearful, scared place, and he reminded me to think about what I was fearful of, and think about the opposite of that. And that was a definite brain exercise. It really took a lot of work to think about what I did want instead of what I didn't want. So it does take some effort, but it works. Just visualizing what you do want, and visualizing that everything is okay, and visualizing the best thing happening. The just visualizing the loving thing to happen, and that can help with fear, which then helps with anxiety, because anxiety is the fear of the unknown, not knowing what's going to happen, not knowing and feeling like you're not in control, and realizing that we might not be in control of things going on in the outside world, but we're definitely in control of what's going on the inside. No matter what, we are always the boss of what's going on in our internal worlds. It is freaking beautiful. We have trillion cells that are literally worship us, just us, and wants to keep us alive, and loves us, and thinks about us, and and it's beautiful. So just kind of honoring yourself and the world within, and keeping this calm will really help the outer world, because we can't always control what's going on in the outer world. For example, I live in Northern California, so we had an earthquake wake us up a couple weeks ago, and a lot of people are very fearful of earthquakes and things like that. And having my breath during times like this. We had multiple fires all within our neighborhood a few days ago, the power, being out, things like that. These things are not in our control, right? So the one thing that I was able to control in those situations was my breath and my thoughts about everything that was happening. So So certain fears are natural, and something really beautiful that I learned was I was in a group of about 15 people, and we were talking all about our fears, and most of us had the same fears, very similar handful of fears. um, and realizing that a lot of our fears are not just ours, and that it's very common and most people have those same freaking fears. So realizing that can be super comforting, and and just realizing that, you know, some fears are natural, and we can just kind of be more accepting of them, and then some fears that people say are irrational fears, or things that, you know, that we're definitely afraid of. It is fun to work through those things. I was afraid of heights, and then next thing you know, I was ziplining, and then I was up in a swing that was 1,000 feet up in the air, and I made it and I did it. So, you know, that is a fun thing to work on, is to kind of work on certain fears. I was terrified of insects and bees and snakes, and now I am a beekeeper. So, and I've held a snake, and I've touched like insects now, and I've put my hand in a bunch of dirt that I knew worms and stuff were in, like years ago. I would have never done that. So we are able to work through fears, no matter how scared we are of certain things, um, and it is really beautiful. It is fun. We are super loved. We are safe. It may not always feel like that, but we just have to remind ourselves that we are safe. And just coming back to the present moment, the gift, the best way to get to the present moment and to stop going from the past to the future, to the past to the future, whether it's you're going to bad places or good places. Just kind of getting out of the thinking mind throughout the day, and just doing the best to come to the present moment, just through breathing, breathing, dancing, exercise, yoga, Pilates, weights, lifting weights, whatever, you know, whatever way that you love to move your body. These kind of things definitely help us to not think as much, and to just stay present. I will be posting more videos. I hope this video helps you or someone that you may know that has a lot of fear and anxiety. These breathing exercises have been a miracle. They've worked better than any kind of medication that I was ever on. I was on so many different anxiety and depression and insomnia medications. Anxiety can trigger so many other health problems, stomach aches, nausea. You could throw up. There's so many different things that can come with anxiety and things like that. And it's tiring, it's exhausting to live a very anxious, fearful life. So just know that there is another life out there, that doesn't have to be full of fear and stress and panic and worry. It's just kind of depends on your thoughts and your belief systems, and just kind of changing your mind about certain things that are maybe harming you. Certain thoughts can be extremely harmful. Fear can just eat at you. And yeah. So have a happy Halloween, and I will be posting more videos shortly. Please like and subscribe. That really does help. When I see those things, it encourages me to make more videos. So I will be seeing you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.